Good morning. Thank you all for joining us today at the special naturalization ceremony. My name is Vanita Gupta. I'm the head of the Civil Rights Division here at the Justice Department. It's really a pleasure to share the stage with so many distinguished colleagues, but also most notably my boss, Attorney General Lynch, and Director Juan Osuna, and Director León Rodríguez, and Sarah Taylor, who's here from the Washington District Director. It is a privilege to welcome the 55 men and women who are here before us from 40 countries across 5 continents as you become American citizens. Your diversity is our country's strength. We are a nation of immigrants. We are a nation that promises equal opportunity. We are a nation that is founded upon the timeless ideal and firm belief that all people, regardless of color or creed, deserve a fair chance to succeed. It is also, to me, America's story is not only just historical, it is also personal. I am the daughter of Indian immigrants and the wife of a Vietnamese refugee. And I know firsthand the protections and opportunities and freedoms that our country provides at its brightest and at its strongest. And the Civil Rights Division that I have the privilege to lead today is dedicated to making these protections a reality for all people. This month, we're celebrating an important anniversary of our work. 30 years ago, Congress passed and President Reagan signed a momentous law called the Immigration Reform and Control Act. This law created the Civil Rights Division's Office of Special Counsel for Immigration-Related Unfair Employment Practices, or what we like to call more simply OSC. Under the outstanding leadership of OSC's fearless Section Chief, Alberto Ruiz Sanchez, and his entire team, we work to combat discrimination against lawful, authorized immigrants and U.S. citizens, as well as creatively engage with the public to make sure victims know where to turn for help. I'd like to just close by speaking directly to our 55 newest American citizens. American citizenship is active, not static. And the success of our democracy depends upon engaged, enthusiastic, and energized citizens. Day in and day out, we need your ideas, we need your creativity, and we need your contributions to help our country live up to its very highest ideals. I hope you will come to view the Civil Rights Division and the entire Department of Justice as unwavering allies in that unyielding cause. And now it is my privilege to invite Sarah Taylor, the Washington District Director of USCIS, to the podium.
Thank you, Vanita, and to all our special guests who are here today, especially our new citizens. I want to welcome you here. Thank the Department of Justice, especially for hosting us in this beautiful location. To officially begin our ceremony today, I would like to ask everyone to stand and remain standing for the presentation of colors and the singing of the national anthem by Dorothy Williams, Accessibility Specialist, Civil Rights Division.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight streaming, and the rocky tree the bombs bursting in air, give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Can we have another round of applause for Dorothy? That was beautiful. In a moment, León Rodríguez, who's the Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, will be administering the Oath of Allegiance. Director Rodríguez was sworn in as the USCIS Director on July 9, 2014. Prior to his appointment, he served as the Director of the Office of Civil Rights at the Department of Health and Human Services, a position he held from 2011 to 2014. From 2010 to 2011, he served as the Chief of Staff and Deputy Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights right here at the Department of Justice. So welcome home. Thank you for taking the time to join us in this special ceremony today. At this time, it's my distinct privilege to call the candidates for naturalization. As I call your country of current nationality, please stand and remain standing for the administration of the Oath of Allegiance. Argentina, Bangladesh, Bolivia, Canada, yes, please remain standing. People's Republic of China, Colombia, Cuba, you're welcome to applaud. Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Ethiopia, France, Germany, Ghana, Guatemala, Honduras, India, Iran, Kenya, Madagascar, Malaysia, Mexico, Morocco, Nepal, Nigeria, Pakistan, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Korea, Syria, Thailand, Trinidad and Tobago, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and in Zimbabwe. Is everyone standing? Very good. Director Rodríguez, I present to you 55 candidates representing 40 different countries who have applied to become citizens of the United States. Each candidate has been interviewed by an officer of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and unless exempted by the law, has demonstrated the ability to read, write, and speak words in the English language. Each has demonstrated his or her knowledge and understanding of the history and principles and form of government of the United States. Director Rodríguez, I recommend that these candidates be administered the Oath of Allegiance, thereby admitting them to United States citizenship.
Thank you, Sarah. Candidates, it is my privilege to administer the Oath of Allegiance to you today. I will ask you to remain standing, to raise your right hand, and to repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. Congratulations. I want to be the first to be able to call you my fellow Americans. Can we have another round of applause for our new citizens? And I always take this opportunity to also offer my thanks to your family, your friends who have supported you, studied with you, gone with you to the interviews. I want to give them a round of applause and thanks. On behalf of my boss, Secretary Johnson, and all of USCIS, I want to thank Attorney General Lynch for having us here today and for being with us. Having our highest law enforcement official welcome our newest citizens is a great tribute to our heritage as a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. I look out at this room and what I see is my own family. My parents came here as refugees from Cuba in 1961. They came after having suffered much in their country, repeated arrests, separation of their family members who were never seen again after they came to the United States. But they came here to pursue a dream, to make a better life for themselves and for their family. In fact, my father, who will turn 80 next summer, still works, and there is no end in sight. As does my mother. And this teaches a fundamental truth about what it means to be an immigrant to this country and what it means to make the choice to become a United States citizen. Nobody that I've ever met certainly, has ever chosen to come to the U.S. as an immigrant, and nobody has ever chosen to become a U.S. citizen just for themselves. They do so for their families. They come here to work to improve our society and to find better lives for themselves and for their families. And that is why it is particularly fitting today that we do this in the context of a celebration of an organization called the Office of Special Counsel for Immigration-Related Unfair Employment Practices, actually a part of the Department of Justice with which I used to work when I was here at the Civil Rights Division. USCIS appreciates the work that you do in partnership with us and our mutual colleagues at the Department of Labor to fight exploitation and other unfair practices. And they basically stand for a very simple proposition, and that is that if you are a naturalized citizen, if you are a legal permanent resident, or if you're fit within a number of other categories of immigration, you may not be discriminated against in employment. One of the priorities of the Obama administration has been to increase access to naturalization. I worked on that effort when I was here at the Department of Justice, and I continue to advocate for that goal at USCIS. So it is particularly meaningful for me to have the honor to be here as Director of USCIS, joining the Office of Special Counsel, marking the 30th anniversary of the last comprehensive revision of our immigration laws, the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986. Now, you gain many new rights as a United States citizen, chief among them the right to vote. But you also acquire many responsibilities. And I invite you to fully exercise all of them, because I think you will find that as you exercise those responsibilities, what you give will come back to you and your family many, many times over. I know we have service members in the room here today being sworn in as new citizens, and I imagine also a few veterans. They certainly set an example of service that we can all follow, and we congratulate them and thank them for that example of service. Service to country, though, is the work of a lifetime, and it is exercised not only through the shining example of military service, but also through civic participation, through exercising your right to vote, through volunteering in your community, to making your voice heard in your community, not just for yourselves, but also for your family. So I do congratulate you on this milestone and this new beginning for you and your family. Your hard work and determination have led you here, and we welcome you and wish you much success in pursuing your American dreams. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce our keynote speaker, I want to point out that the Attorney General and I share something in common. We were both prosecutors in Brooklyn, New York. In fact, I'm not sure if she remembers this, but the first time we met was when she interviewed me for a job a million years ago. I didn't get the job. Actually, no decision was ever made, actually, General. But there is still time if you'd like to reconsider. It was 2 years ago this month when President Obama announced his intention to nominate Loretta Lynch for Attorney General. The Senate approved her confirmation in April of last year, and she became the first African-American woman to lead the Department of Justice. After her confirmation, her father, Lorenzo Lynch, incidentally a hero of the Civil Rights Movement, a retired fourth-generation Baptist minister, said, and I quote, "The good guys won. That's what has happened in this country all along. All over this land, good folks have stood in the right lane, in the right path." To me, her father's words capture an enduring truth about what holds us together as a nation. Time after time, it's because all over this land, good folks keep us on the right path. Now, please join me in welcoming the 83rd Attorney General of the United States, the Honorable Loretta Lynch.
Thank you all, thank you. And thank you so much for that kind introduction, Leon, as well as for your words honoring my father. I do want you to know that we actually do have an office for you available this afternoon. We were planning on you starting in about 2 hours. Let us know if that works. But Leon has indeed come home, and I also thank him for his contributions, not just to the Department of Homeland Security, but to his indelible contributions to the Civil Rights Division when he was here. I had the privilege of working with him when he was here, when I was still the U.S. Attorney in Brooklyn, and he was not only a friend and a colleague, he was someone who lived up to the highest ideals of this department. So, indeed, welcome home, Leon. Thank you also, Vanita Gupta, the head of our Civil Rights Division. Vanita's a force of nature. She is just in charge of the most incredible group of people, but her own lifelong commitment to civil rights is both personal, as she noted, but it's also bone deep. So I thank you, not just for your remarks here today, but for your work here in this Department of Justice. And of course, I'm so delighted and honored to share the stage with so many other outstanding contributors in this goal. Thank you, Susan, for coming over and hosting this program, and Juan for running our Office of Executive Office of Immigration Reform and doing all the work that you do in working with DHS in this important area. I am so thrilled to be here today to welcome all of you. It is really very special when people who are having one of the most important days of their lives invite you to come share it with them. It really means a great deal to me. And I'm so honored to be here with all of our, not only my DOJ colleagues, but the guests, your friends and family who've come to support you here in this great hall. And it's a real privilege to be among the first to congratulate you and welcome you as our newest American citizens. We've heard the role of nations, over 40 nations from around the world, from Sierra Leone to South Korea, from Pakistan to Portugal, from Mexico to Malaysia, and so many that span our globe. And you all have come here to us. And we appreciate that more than we can say, because you've brought us your hopes and your dreams, as diverse as all the paths that you took to get here. You brought us your hopes for your economic and professional possibilities. You brought us your dreams of a better life for your children. And you also brought with us your expectations about the freedoms and the privileges of citizenship. And it's an honor to receive them from you. And in turn, we look to you with gratitude, with a deep and abiding gratitude that you are here today with all of us, because now that you are here, you will join us in sustaining one of the richest traditions of our nation, which is indeed a nation of immigrants, of people who come from diverse places around the world to become one with us, living up to the motto of this country, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Out of many, all of you. Now, of course, to say that immigrants have been a core part of our American narrative is a tremendous understatement. You all know the stories also. Immigrants have played a critical role in the founding of this country, from our infrastructure and roads to our businesses and our society. We've been powered by the ingenuity, by the drive, by the diligence of immigrants. We have benefited from you indeed. Perhaps we've taken even more than we've given, because immigrants have also fought and died to preserve our freedoms. They've toiled and struggled to enrich our society, from the military, represented here today, to government, from academia to the arts, and all the wealth of talent that you all bring here as well today. We're stronger because of the diversity and the talent of Americans with immigrant roots. And so we celebrate all the richness that you bring to our tapestry. We celebrate the foods that you eat, the languages that you dream in, and the religions that you practice. And we also celebrate the wealth of skills and perspectives that you've chosen to bring to our shores, because they are the attributes that have always made us, all of us, stronger, wiser, and better people. Now, I have to tell you, we're also humbled by the work you had to do to get to these chairs, the careful study of our institutions and our government that you had to undertake. And we are also honored by your choice, your deliberate choice of our systems and our values. Because I know this process is not easy, it's not quick, it's not casual. And some of you have waited and worked for years to achieve this goal. You've spent that time learning about American history, and you've internalized the civic responsibilities that accompany citizenship that we've already heard alluded to today. And in so doing, you've also learned that ours is a nation that upholds liberty and equality for all, that defends the freedoms of religion, press, and assembly, and that strives against prejudice and discrimination. Now, of course, observing actual democracy in action reveals it to be a tumultuous process, as our recent election has shown. And the rhetoric and the tone around so many issues that we've heard about lately can lead to fear and uncertainty. In fact, it may have even caused some of you to question whether the country that you've seen over recent weeks and months is indeed the same one whose founding principles you've been studying so diligently. Yet the history that you learned gives us the answer to that question. Because as you have seen from studying that history, you know that over 200 years ago, we decided what kind of a country we wanted to be. And it is clear we're not there yet, and we have had challenges at many points along the way. Our path forward to realizing those founding ideals that all of you had to memorize has had twists and turns. It's had outright reversals at times, yet we have continued to push ever onward towards them. And the lesson for every generation of Americans, all of us, is the need and the obligation to pick up the challenge of making the American dream real for our own time and for beyond. And that's why it is so wonderful. That's why it is so vital. And that's why it is so important that you are all here today, joining this young, opinionated, and vibrant country, because we need your vision and your voice. We need your tenacity. We need your resolve. Now, some of you have lived in nations that do not enjoy our rights and our liberties. We need you to help remind us all of how precious our freedom is. Some of you have felt the sting of discrimination. We need you to show us the value of tolerance. And some of you have lived in societies that did not allow citizens a voice in their government, and we need you to help bolster our participatory democracy. And so as we conclude today, as we go out and you join your family and friends in the celebration that you so richly deserve, I have an assignment for you. I have a request for you. I have a challenge for you. I have a question for you and a request. I'm asking you to give your voice and your passion. I'm asking you to give your energy and your commitment to the work of building a country that keeps the faith with our founding promises. I hope you will choose to vote in every single election. I want to see, not just for president, but for city council. Not just for city council, but for school board. I want to see you in so many settings, from that school board to the charity fundraisers that support our communities, from Little League games that build our family values to the political debates that inform us all. And I hope that you will share with all of us your perspectives and your talents with everyone in your communities. And I hope that you will never lose sight of the ideals of this country and the way that ordinary citizens, people whose names were never famous, throughout our history have been the ones who've made these ideals real for all of us. And these are the ways that we shape the country that we will live our children. And we depend on you, as we depend on all of our citizens, to help safeguard our shared values. And I am confident that all of you will rise to this challenge as you've already risen to so many. And I look forward to your wonderful contributions. Now, you've already taken the oath of allegiance. In a few minutes, you will take the pledge of allegiance for the first time as citizens of this great country. And when you do, I want you to truly listen to those words as you make that pledge. Because your oath, your allegiance and your commitment and your drive is pledged not to any one person, no matter what their position in our government is, not to any agency in our government, no matter what the title that it bears, but instead to the symbol of our country's perseverance in the face of challenge and struggle, the flag of the United States of America. And even more than that, to the republic for which it stands. That brave, wonderful experiment that we began over 200 years ago. And those simple yet eloquent words describing us as one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, are both the challenge and the commitment for every citizen of this great country. And now, my newest citizens, my newest neighbors, my fellow Americans, let us ever work together to make it so. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Madam Attorney General, for those beautiful and inspiring remarks. I couldn't think of a better introduction to the Pledge of Allegiance, which is what we'll do next. To lead the Pledge of Allegiance, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Juan Osuna, who's the Director of the Executive Office of Immigration Review. He was appointed as the Director in May 2011, having served as the Acting Director in 2010 as well. Prior to that time, he served the Department of Justice as an Associate Deputy Attorney General working on immigration policy, Indian country matters, pardons and commutations, as well as serving as a Deputy Assistant Attorney General in the Civil Division, Office of Immigration Litigation, where in addition to handling immigration policy, he also oversaw civil immigration-related litigation in the federal courts. So please join me in welcoming Juan. I would like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. You'll remember when we said the oath of allegiance, the director raised his right hand and he repeated after you. But when we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we place our right hand over our heart because we love this country. We'll face the flag and we will say it together.
Thank you, Sarah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Please be seated. At this time, we would like to distribute to you your naturalization certificate. So I'd like to ask my special guests here on stage to create a receiving line. And as I call your name, please process to the stage to receive your congratulations from all of our dignitaries here, as well as to receive your naturalization certificate. Shiraz William. Shaheda Parvin. Kenneth Antwi. Lynn Fokker. Seble Warku Teketil. Gustavo Adolfo Mogrevo Landa. Karen Bala. Mohammed Adam Ismail. Valdemar Marian Izbeski. Mayagorsa Izabeska. Zanabu Alima Adamu. Bashir Broby. Lenny Cano Ligoretto. Thank you. Natalia Katz. Fadrique Ignacio Iglesias. Chun Sim Hu. Katie Isabel Gerardo. Islam Shamora Pineda Sosa. Arlene Saavedra Senan Pedrosa. Sherland Edwin Edwards. Zayad Noureddin Orfali. Levi Hernandez Sevilla. Hailey Martinez Mora. Win Huang Tran. Juan Eli Ramajuana. Mitra Rasmara, I apologize. Glenda Lorena Morales. Janice Elizabeth Strack. Froza Jamil Khan. Vitaly Borisenko. Tabitha Boritha Wanioke. Selam Halajorgis Desta. Regina Maria Jimenez. Shamir Freddy Para. Audelia Umana Manzan. Archana Naragoti. Abibloba Alebdipo. Lizzie Matara. Hyung Min Cho. Sergio Damian Flores Espinosa. Ardrazak Ansar Buser. Ibrahim Suba Karoma. Zeno Daniel Copa. Maria del Carmen Vasquez Navarro. Janeth Tedosia Aguila. Ana Sofia Lorenzo Romero. Jamshed Ahmad Asif. Jaweed Azizi. Muhammad Ali Pate. Krishna Vishnu Batala. Maria Pierna Acosta Cabral. Ronaldo Yabut Lacerna Jr. Yajira Lisette Rivas. Bushra Najari. And last but not least, Jean Pimson Francis. Please join me in welcoming America's newest citizens. Thank you all for allowing us the privilege of celebrating this very special day for you. Thank you especially to the Department of Justice, Attorney General, and everyone else for joining us here and making this very special day possible. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day, everyone.